Hi guys, it's Rachel with Rachel's Remedies, and today I almost can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm gonna do a little video on gardening. There's indoor gardening and there's outdoor gardening. Today I'm gonna be talking about outdoor gardening because that's kind of what people always comment on my flowers and my outdoor gardening. Da, 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 da. I can see them. If they are pots that are right outside my window, right outside my kitchen, that I can see with my eyeballs, those pots are gonna do the very best. So, hope you enjoy this video. So here we go down the beautiful path to the typical garden. My husband gave me a beautiful raised bed garden setup, and there's a half-dead tomato in the first plot and a surviving blackberry bush in the second plot with 2 or 3 weeds. Yeah, and the third plot has a couple of jalapeno plants. The bees love their watering dish that fills up every morning. They love that. And there's a composter. I did that for 2 years and then stopped. There's the bee box in the background. Okay, so here we go. We're back up on the porch, and this is what I finally discovered is my favorite way of gardening. Well, the main thing I figured out after 15 years of trying was if I see the pot, if I see the plant outside of my window, then it will do well, because I can tell by looking at it every day what it's doing. That garden that's way down there, I don't see it, and so it doesn't do as well. Now, that first pot that you saw was basil. This pot is a lemon tree in the middle, and it's a baby lemon tree, so I get to plant flowers and ivy around it and make the pot really pretty because the root system isn't totally taking over the pot. And so the other thing I kind of discovered is I like the pots to match their background. And so that's why I have white pots. This is peppermint. Look how happy and amazing it is. Of course, herbs are the easiest things to grow. So if you're not a natural gardener, start with herbs and start with one that you use a lot in your cooking or in your daily habits. Here's another lemon tree. There's a lemon in bloom. And same thing with that one. It was in a tiny pot. It wasn't happy, so I put it in this real tall pot. There's some aloe vera that we use for burns, and it loves its pot. And all of these pots are on a watering system, a drip system, and they get some water every day. This pot is by our pool, and that's thyme that's kind of poking over the edge, which I use frequently while I'm cooking, the thyme. And then there's an organic rosemary in the middle. And then those pentas are the flowers growing around. Pentas they're very drought tolerant, and they come back every year, so I won't have to touch those pots for several years. Now this is a lemon balm. I love lemon balm, and it's not doing well. You see the yellowish color. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. I'm going to transplant it. It probably needs a bigger pot. And then there's more rosemary. That's kind of a creeping rosemary. And then a rose bush that is also not doing well. This pot I've had for years and years. See how the color kind of matches the background. I hold my pots together basically with baling wire until they fall apart. So that's those pots by the pool. Again, we have a lot of windows in the back of our house, so I can kind of every morning when I look out, I just kind of can see what's going on. This mint, I can't see what's going on, but mint is very hardy, and it's a kind of a different, it's like a spearmint. There's some parsley in another completely neglected pot. But I love it because if I need parsley, if I need mint, I just walk out the door and I get it from one of my pots. So that's a mini tour of the backyard pots. Okay, so there's another herb in the backyard, and it's neglected. Again, I can't see it unless I go do something special with the trash. It's back here behind these rose bushes because it's not an attractive herb. And so I just plopped it back here. But I did notice, I was walking by it and I noticed all these holes in it. I immediately got my diatomaceous earth duster dusted it. That's what the white flour is. And the grasshoppers who were living on my comfrey either died or left. So the holes will go away. This comfrey has been here for years. I use the leaves every once in a while when I make my herbal salve for the skin. I use the leaves, I'll dry them and crush them up and put them in my salve. It's amazing. I love comfrey. It's such a, I don't know, there's certain herbs, like I want some lobelia for our yard too. There's just certain herbs that have so helped our family and that I want them in our yard. I want them close to us. I want to be able to pick them whenever I can. These leaves, if your dog is itching from fleas or has a rash, you can rub your dog's belly with these leaves of the comfrey. Okay, so now I'm in the front yard. Now we get west sun in the front yard. I planted some lime trees. As you can tell, I'm really a fan of citrus trees, and these are lime bushes, so they won't get that tall. They do great in pots. You can, you know, kind of attend to them when it's freezing or going to freeze. There's a little flower that didn't make it. So that shallow pot on the right, that one had the lemon trees in it. It was just too shallow for their root system. So there's another tree with a lime bush, a Mexican lime bush, some pentas, some ivy over the sides. Really, guys, super easy. If you have a watering system, you can kind of see I have my little cords that are in the pots that water. But these get west sun, and it's 100 degrees outside. Now there's a grapefruit tree that did not do well, but this year it sprouted up to 6 feet tall suddenly. So now I'm attentive to it. I go out and I look at it, and I gave it ammonium sulfate, and I'm going to be watching it because this is truly going to be an awesome grapefruit tree, and they only grow, that's about as tall as they grow. So I could afford to kind of stick that in the ground out in the front yard.
Enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was really not helpful about gardening at all, but it kind of showed you my pots. The other thing that I used, and I don't have the packaging and I couldn't find it on Amazon, it's called Rose Glo, and it's just an organic fertilizer, and it's kind of powdery and looks like dirt. I use Rose Glo once a month during the summer months. Take half a cup and I sprinkle it around the plant, and then I water it. And I do that once a month. So I do feed my plants. A horrible green thumb, but it doesn't look like it because I figured out how to do it. So I hope you enjoy this video, and maybe you got at least something out of it, and can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.